Hi, Linda. I'm going to make you host. All right, you are still muted, but you should be host now. All right. Hi, Linda.
Hiya, Grace.
Hi. All right, so you've got it. You're host now.
Okay.
Be all set. You know what to do?
Okay. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. See you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Hi, Janice.
Hello, I didn't think you'd already be up there. I'm gonna just run downstairs for a minute, so
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm here.
Take your time. I have the tea kettle on too,
That's
so.
what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. See you in a few. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Linda.
Janice will be right back. She's making a cup of tea.
Okay. All right.
So, yep, Grace got us started.
Good.
Yes.
So what is the new program for Zoom?
I don't know any details other than what Grace said. And so I thought that she'd be sending some information about the new, whatever it is, new Zoom account with information to Susan, but then she said instead she would start us, so no one needed to worry about doing
Okay.
whatever it is. So for today, we're good.
We're good. Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there are other meetings tonight, though they're all under the select board Zoom account, so we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not under Susan's tonight.
No, no, we're under whatever this new system is that Grace started,
Okay.
it's Zoom, but some sort of new account. And
Okay.
so apparently there are different credentials and we don't have them yet. So
Okay. Well, we will.
we will, but
Yeah.
for today, and thank goodness, because Susan most likely isn't going to join us. So this
Right.
worked out for the best.
Okay.
So we just need someone else before we can start. Well, Janice isn't back yet, but we know we need one other person to have quorum.
Right. Well, we should have Martha and Jeanette, I think. So
Yeah.
neither one said they weren't coming.
No, no, we haven't, since Martha sent around her information. There's
Mhm.
Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Hello,
Good to see you.
thank you.
Yes, it is.
I made some tea and I'm trying to get a little thing to put the tea bag in out of my pocket.
Oh,
But I don't have anything up here. Ah, there we go. Okay. What do we have? Just the three of us.
just the three of us. So
Mhm.
Susan, I told Joanne that Susan called to say that she's delayed with the closing up of the the last details of closing up the
Oh,
book.
dear.
Yeah,
The book sale, not the closing of her sister's place.
no, that's all
Too
done.
many closings.
Right, the book sale,
Yeah.
she called it 4:15 to say that the company that comes to pick up the tables had yet to had yet to come. So she was waiting on that, and she did not expect that she would be back in time for the meeting.
Ah,
So right now we're waiting for at least one more person so we can actually meet.
I have a question if I'm allowed to ask one. Martha sent a new version, but when
Yeah.
I opened it,
Mhm.
something was not right. And I don't know if it was just me.
No,
No.
Okay,
no, Joanne followed up with her because she ended up just sending like a piece of the prior
right.
document.
The previous one, right. Okay, good. I
Yeah,
thought,
and Martha's entering now, so
okay, great. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. Darn
that's
computer.
okay.
Hi, Martha.
Hi,
Hello, hello.
we're glad you're here. Does anyone know if Jeanette is coming?
I don't know. She's on Martha's Vineyard. I don't know if she's coming or
Oh.
not.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, she's here. I'm gonna admit her now. Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect.
I just sent everybody that full document.
Okay,
Hmm.
thank you.
I'll go grab it.
Sorry, it didn't come out the first time.
Hi,
Hi,
Jeanette.
All right, download. Or I could.
Okay, is everybody ready? Jeanette, you're muted. I don't know if you want to unmute so we can, or just when we're going
Okay.
to call the meeting to order at 5:34 PM. And so if we just want to say who is present. So Linda Ada Scott,
Hmm,
Joanne Bernhardt.
Martha Faber.
Janice Gray.
Jeanette Stockton?
yes.
Yep.
Okay, so Susan Millinger is unable to join us. Therefore, Joanne and I would request that someone volunteer to take the minutes for us tonight.
Oh, I'm on a couch.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I can try, but I'm not.
I
That's
think
okay.
Jeanette's getting a pad and a pen.
Yay,
Thank you, Jeanette.
thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I'll hold. And on that note, Susan, as I said, Susan isn't joining us, and she did not complete the minutes for the July 12th meeting, so we will have to carry those over. Okay. So
Okay, I'm making notes too. So Jeanette, if you get lost, I'll try and duplicate notes.
Okay, I tend to be a bit cryptic.
okay, well, that's
5:30.
okay. That's all we need are the basics.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what we, the basics. All right, so Joanne sent out a little while ago the a revised budget scenario. So hopefully you all had a chance to see that. It's just a little different from the one that went out by me because Joanne fixed up some things. So hopefully you got that.
The one I had sent out before, I had made an error on. Linda and I looked it over and I forgot to make a change. So I sent out the corrected one today. And it just had one correction, which was on the third version, which was that the Gazette actually, the amount was $800. And I think I had not done that correctly on the first one that I sent out. So that changed the bottom line figure to 600 and, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, 614, something like that.
613, yeah, 43, yeah.
47.
Okay. Okay.
So it
So,
seems, go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, you sure? Okay, so
Yep.
it seems that before we have received a funding request from Mary Ann, which everyone is sent around to everyone. And so before we can consider that, we will want to just continue to talk about our budget. Well, at the end of the last meeting, Joanne and I agreed that we would come up with a couple of budget scenarios, and Joanne came up with the third. So you have 3 scenarios in front of you, and The idea is to consider them or any other possibilities that anyone might have. You can see that there are some differences in the Village Neighbors donation, the programming, and fitness programs. So those are the three areas that are have some flexibility to them. For right now, we're basing the foot care on continuing home visits. So does anyone have any questions, or Joanne, do you want to?
I'm sorry, I just lost Zoom. Oh, there we are. Okay.
You all right?
I think so. There we are. Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
dear.
Stop.
No, I don't want my app to make changes to this device.
Okay, Jeanette,
I just
There I
really
am, okay.
quickly, the differences between the three scenarios were within the three categories of the VN donation,
Mhm.
programming and foot care,
fitness, yeah, fitness.
and but then
So-
I swear you said something about foot care.
I just wanted to clarify that for right now, we're using the number
Okay.
for foot care is based on continuing home visits.
Okay,
And actually Linda did get more information from the foot care nurse about what it would cost to bring things inside town hall if we wanted to open up that possibility again.
Yeah.
I think that would significantly lower the cost, but I don't know if we're ready to do that yet.
Right, that's my sense is that for right now, we would leave that as a separate discussion.
Mhm.
And,
Okay,
so that if we did switch over and there were, it didn't cost as much, then we would later in the grant cycle have additional funds for something else.
mhm. I think that, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that there's another round of COVID coming.
Yes,
And
yes,
so, yeah, okay,
cases are increasing, yeah.
increasing, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is Janice
Okay.
Craig. I was in town hall today getting sworn in for our town, which is another topic altogether. And Grace was talking about, we were talking about masks, and she said, it's still there. People are getting casual about it. So
Mhm.
that even, in town hall itself, they're talking about that.
Okay, thank you. Whew. Okay, so regarding the scenarios, does anyone have questions? Can you all see the budget?
Yeah, it's,
No, Jeanette, oh.
well, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay,
and
I think I could screen share it if that would be helpful. Let me see if I can. Hang on.
I think the three things that were different were the Village Neighbors donation, the Gizette, oops, where'd it go? No, not the Gizette. Village Neighbors donation, the fitness classes, and the programming amount.
Yeah,
Those were the three things.
I'm
Yeah.
not having a very good help with this. Hang on for a second.
when did you need to click on the,
Yeah, I know. I need to open the document first. Thank you, Martha.
Mhm.
this is Martha, those, I mean, they seem reasonable because the increase for fitness program was, what, $250?
Okay, we good now? Can you see it? Yes, yes. So,
Well,
right,
that's-
Okay.
Yeah,
Joanne incrementally increased the fitness. Each scenario increases fitness by $250. Yeah.
And then the COA programming, as of now, I think we have Martha working on the phone tech.
Mhm.
And that
Right.
was Barbara asking for $50 a session. So that would be $100, or if for some reason we needed to do 2 sessions, it would be $200, but that still leaves us with extra for extra planning that we don't know yet
Mhm.
what that would entail. And let's see what else. We talked about the Village Neighbors donation, especially since the transportation is an issue, and Village Neighbors is providing transportation, and we haven't yet, gotten back to the transportation that the COA can offer. I bumped that up to $1,000. That was these are my own things that I did, okay, as opposed to the 2 that Linda did. And the other increase that I made was for the fitness programs.
Mhm.
So if anyone has things to consider with those, with any of these amounts on any of the versions, please say so.
Stockton here. Are you version 3, Joanne?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we actually, we did go over these
did
together.
it
but
together.
Joanne came up.
Right,
with-
right, right. But just a little,
Yeah, yes, I came up with version 1 and 2, and Joanne came up with 3, which, the only difference, or the bottom line difference, is that it leaves us with $400 less in unallocated funds. And so that's just are we comfortable with having having that amount of unallocated funds since we've addressed, in version 3, we've addressed we've addressed the Joanne has figured out how to address the Village Neighbors donation request and come up with $3,000 for fitness.
Martha, I have a question. So what did we spend this past year on programming?
Hang on for a second. We spent wait a minute, I have my report from last meeting. Hang on. Last year, we spent $3,625 on fitness.
Okay, on fitness, okay.
Yeah.
And then on just COA programming, did we do anything?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We
all right.
had the Village Neighbors of $230. MCOA dues of $230, Village Neighbors $500, Foot Care $2,300, Gizette just under $800, fitness, and then museum passes. So last year we ended up with basically rounded $960 of unallocated funds at the end of the year, which we carry over.
This is Martha. I mean, I think it seems like version 3 seems like a reasonable allocations. We've increased the Village Neighbors, as I was spoken to. Programming for fitness has gone up because Mary Ann needs the funding, and it's generally a council on aging population that uses it, having used it myself. And I
Mm.
I would support this budget, version 3.
Would you like to make a motion?
I would love to make a motion. So, I, Martha Favre, make a motion to support, vote, what's the appropriate terminology? To accept
Sure.
version 3 of the Council on Aging budget for FY 2024.
Is there a second?
Bernhardt, second.
Any other discussion? No? Okay.
Okay.
None being heard, shall we vote by roll call vote?
Mhm. Bernhardt, aye.
Favre, aye.
Ray, I.
Scott, I.
Stockton, I.
Okay,
Okay,
Unanimous.
yes, hooray. Yay.
Linda, can you remind us what Mary Ann's funding request was?
Sure.
Or it wasn't really a request, she just listed all of the things that she's
So,
sponsoring, I think.
if you're okay, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so Mary Ann, well, I can share this if you want. Let me find it. No, here we go. Be easier. Can you see it?
Yes,
I have it in front of me besides.
Okay. So, yes, you can see Mary Ann listed the cost of the classes and the projected cost for the year. And then noted what we contributed last year, which we all agreed upon. And then she discussed the fact that she's asking us to basically, instead of asking us every quarter for a contribution, she's suggesting twice a year and asking basically she divided $3,625 by 2.
Mm.
And came up with $1,812.50.
okay. So we've just voted to give the library $3,000.
Mhm.
May we see what we have left by the fourth quarter? And if we have an amount left over, we could offer another amount for supporting either the fitness or the museum passes
Yeah.
at that point when we see how much we have left over.
Yeah. So at this point, we have, as Joanne said, allocated $3,000 for the year, which means, based on Marianne's, she's asking us to contribute $1,812.50, but right now we have $1,500 that we could contribute for the first half of FY 24. So does anyone feel like making a motion?
I'll make a motion. Favre, I make a motion to contribute $1,500 for the first half of the year to the library for fitness programs.
For a second,
Ray, second.
thank you, Janice. Any further discussion? Okay, not there being none.
I'm sorry, this is,
Oh.
wait, this is Joanne. Do we need to answer her entire question?
Her question about what?
I mean, do we need to say for the first half of the year, or do we need to say $750 a quarter with,
Oh,
or how, no, okay.
She's
sorry.
asking, Marianne said, what she'd like to do is to streamline the administrative work by having the COA consider the partnership twice a year instead of 4 times.
Okay.
So if we have,
Exactly, sorry.
just
Yeah.
as Martha's motion was for the first half, $1,500,
Mhm.
and we can write to Marianne and say, we've allocated $3,000. And so $1,500 for the first half of the year is what we can contribute.
Can I,
Okay.
So
Bob, question? So
yeah.
Does it make sense to, in terms of simplifying it for her to just say, we're allocating $3,000
mhm.
to the library and here you go for the year?
We want to take into consideration what Joanne said is that when we get halfway through, we may find that we have additional funds that we might be able to contribute more in the second half. So-
Right, but
Oh,
at the same time, we've allocated,
I see what you mean. Yeah,
just
yes,
tell her, we've budgeted the 3,000, so,
yes,
you know.
yes. Yes, I agree. I was thinking that we would, in the email to Marianne, we'd say we have budgeted $3,000 for the year. And so we have approved 1,000, well, we haven't voted yet, but so
Mhm.
let's vote. If we're, go ahead.
Bobber still has a question, so
Oh, sure.
does it make sense to vote to approve the $3,000 of, we've already approved the $3,000 to the library, so just,
Yeah.
so reiterate again for the vote, contribute $3,000 to the library for the year with a total, right? And then you can, in that note, we could, to the note, you can state, can't you? I don't know if this all fits Robert's Rules of Orders that, in the second half, we'll assess if we have additional funds.
Mhm. Right, and so
Mhm.
we would be contributing $1,500 for the first half of the year to Marianne's request for $1,812.50. Yeah,
Okay, all right. That's how she wanted it broken down. Okay,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So my first motion stands.
okay, and
Do we want to allocate $1,500 for the first half of the year for fitness programs at the library?
Mhm.
And it was seconded by Janice. Is there anybody, is there
Mhm.
any other questions? Are we good to vote? Okay, we're good to vote.
Okay, Bernhard, I.
Bobber, aye.
Great, aye.
Oh, Scott, I.
And Stockton, I.
Um. Sorry, are you teaching one of those classes though?
Oh, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
should not vote.
I think you have to abstain.
Stockton abstains.
Thank you, thanks. Okay, so just one other financial update is that this July's foot care by nurses was $200. Just so you know. All right. Next up is, if Martha would provide us with an update on the mobile phone tech program planning.
Right. Hang on a minute. Let me grab that, all right?
Okay, sure.
I'm trying to move between a laptop. I'm not high tech. All right. Wait a minute. Okay, oh, wait, here we are. All right. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, emergency, all right, so. Oh, here we go, all right. Okay, so the smartphone, all right, so we wanted to offer a program to the elder adults in town as to how to use a smartphone. So Mary Ann suggested Barbara Friedman, and that's who I contacted, and she was the librarian at Irving for a number of years, and she has done a number of programs for the mature citizens in town using technology. So I called her up, and October would work for her on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday in the morning, and this would be a 90-minute class. And she's willing to do 2 separate classes, one for iPhone and one for Android. And her fee is $50 per 90-minute session. And I said, well, we can give you travel. And she says, oh no. She said, Council on Aging don't have much money. So, and she's willing to make the drive. So, the one thing she asked was, what is the level of the participants that will be attending? Do they know how to even open up a phone? You know, how rudimentary does it need to get for them? Or do they want to know how to send, maybe they know how to use their phone, but they want to learn how to send photos of their, grandkids to whomever. So if we could figure that out in terms of a registration form, that would be helpful. But if we can't figure that out, she said she can work with it. And she has a short questionnaire that she can provide us that we could use when people register. And 6 would be an ideal size. And she would need tables and chairs for everyone because people can't hold the phones in their laps. And she likes to use a big screen because she has a Mac and she can connect her Mac to the large TV screen. And there is a large TV screen that they use, a large screen, not a TV screen, that they use in town hall for, the virtual meetings. And I spoke to, and it has compatibility, it's set up for Mac. And I spoke to Becky on Monday, and I guess the adapter for the Mac, anyhow, Mary Ann had taken it, so Becky needs to get it back from Mary Ann. So that would be a yes in terms of, yes, we'll be able to facilitate the technology for the program so that she would end up using her phone screen would be projected onto the TV screen, the large screen, so that people can follow along. And I told her that we would follow up in regards to the technology question and the questionnaire. So in terms of how can we promote these is a question, and how might we register people to get some sort of a basic assessment of their desires with this program.
Thank you.
Mark,
Martha.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank-
that very thorough.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you,
All the
Martha.
details. And thank you for following up on the, Mac compatibility with the large screen. Yeah. Okay. So it seems like there are 3 pieces. One, dates for the program, and then promoting, and then once people sign up, then one idea I have is that once people register, then we could send them the questionnaire for what they want to know. I was thinking possibly about using Town Announce as one methodology. And we also talked about possibly asking Mary Ann to co-sponsor so that we could ask her to use her, spiffy communication tools for getting the word out. Jeanette?
Stockton here, just wondering, do you need to sign up to utilize once we have the dates, to use the space in town hall, or is that, you can just kind of walk in?
Yeah, we would definitely want, that's a great question, and thank you for a good reminder that we would, once we came up with dates, that we would want to let Becky know, Becky and Grace, and say, okay, we would like to be using the space, and my sense is that since it would be in the morning, we should be pretty good, but we don't want to take anything for granted.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
Wednesday. Yeah, we have Wednesday, the latter, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mhm. Okay,
Monday, not good. Yeah.
so would something like 10:30 to 12 be a good time?
You think people are up at that hour?
Mhm.
I mean, they should be, I don't know. There are these stereotypes. The elderly get up very early. I don't know. I mean, 10:30 to 12 probably would work. That
They're
would give
too
her
late,
time
right?
to get out.
Okay,
She's coming from Westminster.
so that's about what, half an hour from here
It's
45 minutes?
40 minutes,
or, okay.
45 minutes. Yep.
Mhm.
That's a reasonable time, 10:30 to noon.
Okay. Um. And then another question would be, I don't know when our town is coming out. Janice does.
Yeah, that was actually determined yesterday.
Yes.
We
Mhm.
don't
yes,
have,
we
we
do,
don't
yeah.
have a date in the mail because we can't control that. I mean, in people's mailboxes. But the goal is to get the our town, if people follow the deadline, that we get the draft to Adams, the printing company, in on September 15th. So presumably the our town would be sometime, depending on when it gets printed and mailed and delivered, the end of October or the beginning of, end of September or the beginning of October, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
So it could go into that.
Ja-
It wouldn't be a lot of notice.
Janice, I have a question. Geneva sent out an email today saying that articles are due by the 15th of September.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
I see. You're right. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not in my best
Mhm.
shape today. Yeah, the articles are.
It's
due-
okay, I just want to be sure we're.
But the idea is that we would get it to Adams by like the 25th. That's the date I was thinking.
Okay, got it,
Mhm.
okay.
And
got
then
it.
she seems to think you can get it to us in our mailboxes pretty fast. I don't count on that at all.
It depends on what they have on their
I
schedule.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
anyway, but the bottom line is, yes, articles to me by the 15th, we hope.
Right,
And in people's mailboxes, either the last week of September or the beginning of October.
yeah, that seems realistic based on, we know that not everybody follows the request to get them in by the
Exactly.
15th.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Jeanette?
Stockton here, two thoughts. Since it is a Shutesbury thing, would it hurt to put just a flyer up in the mail lobby? I always look at that.
Mhm.
The post office lobby, and perhaps even outside of the library, whether we affiliate ourselves with Mary Ann or not, which is always a good idea. I mean, she's always happy to coordinate. And then comment number 2, I can probably put it in the village neighbors email that goes out on the 15th with the disclaimer that it's probably just for Shutesbury residents. I mean, that happens all the time. So if
Okay.
you would like me to do
Yeah,
that.
Okay, that
that's
sounds great.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the other question is, do we want to Gazette before then? Earlier than our town,
No,
maybe I'm
says
thinking.
Janice.
I
Janice says no.
This was being brought up at the very end of the July meeting, just as we were being cut off.
Yeah.
And that's, first of all, to assume that I'm the one who does the Gazette every time is a
Mhm.
little bit historically inaccurate. I've taken it on because no one else has, but I'm not necessarily willing to keep doing it.
Okay,
And especially not when
I-
working on the R Town at the same time.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
did have a conversation with Susan Millinger about it when we were standing outside the League of Women Voters place. I used to do a newsletter when I was working at UMass. Susan has also done a newsletter. So we're thinking if Janice could help us with the header for the Gazette, we could probably do it without involving Janice because she has a lot on her plate with our town. Thinking that Susan and I could probably do it, or anybody else who has computer newsletter skills would be appreciated, but and then we'd give it to Janice for a her editing, you know, what do you call it when you read through the whole thing and find all the mistakes that we made?
Acumen.
Yeah, yeah. So as not to burden you, Janice, with too
I'm
much.
not sure you understand. First of all, I don't know what you mean by header. And secondly,
Well, you have the Gazette. What is that? What is at the top of the first page?
Logo is another word.
or
Logo.
mascot or
okay.
flag or banner. There's a number of different words.
Okay, banner. yeah.
I produce it in Publisher. And you can, and Sally did it in Word and it was hell to do. It's not good to, it's working, trying to do a newsletter in Word, especially if it's columns, is very difficult.
Okay,
Publisher's a lot easier, but I don't know if, I know that Susan does not have it, and I don't know if you have it.
I don't.
So
I
there are some
the
little
old days I
technical
used
issues right
yeah,
there.
I used what was it in the old days? PageMaker, which is
Okay,
not there anymore.
so this is what I'm sounding like a grouch, okay?
No, please,
No,
Janice,
no.
please. go
So
ahead.
when Sally had to stop putting together the newsletter because of the sudden and very sad death of her husband, I took over the layout, which is what we're talking about in Publisher, how the pages are
Okay.
laid out, where the stories are, whatever. Since then, I've done most of the writing, and that was not what I signed up for. If I
Right.
can get the text from you guys, God help me for saying this. I'm hoping maybe I could work in a short Gazette. Now, here's the other thing. Adams does in multiples of 4, 8, 12, 16 pages.
Right.
So, you know, it depends on how big it is. I don't know, other than this article and maybe the where the peace of mind binder, what else is going to go in there?
Yeah,
Right.
I've got a few pieces of news and, bits of, sort of, regional and state programming things that could go in. Plus, we did talk about there's been some talk about the possibility of interviewing the new public health nurse. That article. I have to say that on my end, I've held the Adams communication piece, which is significant, which involves the mailing list. So when we communicate, once the Gazette is ready, then I have sent to Adams the specs of what we want, how many, black and white, how many pages, how many issues, and the mailing list. And keeping, working with Ken at Adams on having our mailing list be as accurate as possible, because there's a whole lot of different US Postal Service protocols that have to be met. we don't meet, he tells us, how to do that. And I will need to pass that on to someone.
Mhm. Great.
So that, yes, Janice.
Well, I want to let you finish, but I want to say, I want to jump in back again when you're done.
Okay, so I just want to say that I'm really busy with, getting ready. And so I don't know what, the timing of it all. I don't know, what focus I would have to do that piece, which we'd have to, anyway, I would be happy to teach someone how to do it. Anyway, so that's another part of all of this. It is in addition to what Janice is talking about, it's this other part. So Janice, over to you.
Okay, so I did not know what the timing of the Our Town was going to be until yesterday. And my preference is that so there's at this point, probably a late September, October, Our Town, and then there's nothing at all from the town in terms of that kind of publication until the spring, or maybe January, February, something. I would propose that we do not try to rush through a gazette at this time and wait until winter.
Mhm.
That means that this phone thing won't be in there. And but it could be in the Our Town, and so for that matter, could the piece of Mind Binder. That would take pressure off of me. And by the way, it's not just time. I am dying, let's face it. So I would rather not be driving myself crazy on something that does not necessarily have to go out right now.
Okay. Great. Understood, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you for thank you for listening to my bluntness.
Yes.
That's one thing that
Okay.
stage 4 cancer does to you. You get blunt pretty fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
I, if you can teach me the address, I'd be happy to take that over.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Martha. And so another thought here, since we know the timing of the Our Town, we could change the plans for the phone tech program to be such that the information would be in the Our Town, plus a town announce, and plus, like Jeanette said, the Village Neighbors newsletter and some flyers, and maybe Mary Ann. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility to make it a little later. I mean, we haven't figured a date yet anyway. So
Right. Yeah.
but just a thought.
So if we could look more towards the beginning of November.
Or late
Yeah.
Later October, yeah.
You said beginning of October-ish for it to go out, to get out.
Well, all things being as they should.
We'll
which
say
they
maybe the first
rarely
week
are.
of October, ballparky-ish. So
Yeah,
we had
okay.
the program, I don't know, I'm just, trying to work with what we've got. And
Right. Well,
we could stay with October and, go ahead,
let's
Joanne.
check with Mary Ann and see what else is going on. I don't know what the library plans are. We don't want to interfere with programming going on there. Although this would be during the daytime, so it probably shouldn't interfere with anything. But yeah, so if we look maybe at the last week of October, beginning of first week of November, and ask Barbara if she would have a preference of those 2 weeks. Oh, Martha, did she say she would come on 2 separate days? I
Yes.
assume she doesn't want to do,
No,
two
she
in one
need, no,
day.
she'll do 2 separate days. It's not, she said she doesn't mind the drive.
Okay, okay,
Jeanette had a question.
okay.
No, I was just thinking about that turkey trot thing.
That's,
That would be
that is the
on a
Saturday.
weekend on its Thanksgiving, right?
It's a Saturday and it is the week. I have let me see if I can pull up library. That is Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And that's a
So
different,
that's later, yeah.
Totally, totally different population.
yeah,
Mhm. Okay. So, but we need to get, in my thinking, we need to get the word out with enough time for people to register and answer a questionnaire, right? I
Mhm.
mean,
right. Right. So, yeah. So I have a question. How would they register?
They would send, I would think, here's just what I was thinking, they would send an email to the COA. Right, Joanne?
if they know how to do that.
They would just email coa@shutesbury.org and say, I'd like to attend the
Mhm.
class. And then they would get their questionnaire. Right?
Okay. Okay, so can we get Barbara's questionnaire
Yes.
and then see if we need to enhance it in some way?
And
Jeanette,
we would use our,
Jeanette, what was your thought?
yeah, Jeanette?
I was just thinking that I'm sure, as a teacher, former teacher, I'm sure that, as so many of you are, of course, but Barbara's question, I'm sure she would be happy to even have people handing it to her that day. Like, I wouldn't get too crazy about that. I mean, I think she just wants to know what the familiarity, and then she'll respond. And with just a few people and, someone with a lot of experience, I think she's going to be okay with that. I'm just wondering if we did manage to collaborate with Mary Ann, could there be the potential that maybe people sign up there? Because that seems, people are just so used to that, either on a page or even calling the library, in addition to the COA. Just a thought.
I think that, thank you, Jeanette. I think it would be really, one thing that we want to do is keep promoting our webpage, and Janice is going to talk with us a little bit about that shortly. And of what Gail Fleischaker has in mind, and it seems like if we can, I would be concerned about having it do, like two-pronged, for sign up. So if we had the sign up through us, again, it would also help maybe generate more activity for us on our webpage, and because we would be directing people there. I don't know. Just a thought.
Also, it could lead to like suddenly having 13 people signing up at the library and 4 people signing up on the
Right.
web.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, you have to be careful with tallies.
yes. Okay, so, all right, so we've talked about the Gazette. Put that to, it seems like that's, gonna rest for them for the time being. Though we're going to think about when to schedule the phone tech program. And maybe we would propose a few dates to Barbara and see what she thinks.
Yep.
So we could ask her what she might have available late October, early November.
Yes.
That sound reasonable, everybody?
Mhm.
Okay,
Sounds good. And then what Barbara's questionnaire is,
yeah, and her.
so
question- Yep.
those two things, yeah.
And then when we have our September meeting, we'll have that information and we'll be able to then, get our act together quickly to have an article, very, very fast, little bit of something for our town. So we can be thinking about that. How, getting something really short and sweet that will go in our town about the program.
Okay, Barbara has a question. So I'm out of town for 2 weeks, the beginning the 10th of September to the 24th. So I can get that article written and, you know, the, sent to, typed up and sent to you, Janice, for our town. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll get that done before the 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So are we all good on the phone tech program? Wonderful. Okay, all right, and we've already addressed Gazette. And so the next item is Joanne's draft letter to the select board, and I will see if I can screen share that. Maybe. Shoot. I don't seem to have it up. Does everybody have the letter?
I thought I did.
Right, hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I have it, but it's a printout. I don't know how to screen share.
Okay, you have it as a printout though, right?
Yeah, I am an old fashioned person.
Yep, I have a printout too, but I know I have it electronically. Joanne, do you have it easily handy?
No.
Okay,
I'm looking
I
in
know
my
Janice,
folder.
Janice corrected one thing for me, which I appreciate. I had been writing select board together as one word. And Janice let me know that it should be two words, select and board, because those are nouns and select board written together is an adjective. So I will change that. The only other thing that I can think to add is that,
okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Joanne, sorry.
Jeanette suggested adding the life path information about transportation. And I did send that around again. So that would be in addition to the letter.
Okay,
Like an
And
attachment.
otherwise we're sending, there you go. Okay.
okay,
So there were, the first paragraph says, the survey is attached. But then I would have to put something in about also attached are the following, are the life path results. Because we have the survey results and the MedRide data. Those were the two attachments. So in addition, it would be the life path results as an attachment.
right. So we have the survey results, MedRide data, and the
Life path.
results. Okay, yeah.
Okay, the other thing that I thought of very recently, when you go down to current resources, where we have FRTA MedRide program and Village Neighbors, we members of Life Path also do have access to transportation. And there may be members of Life Path in Shutesbury. I mean, I'm sure there are some, which I could add in there under current resources, because they have a, what's it called? Rides for Health, where they will pick people up for medical appointments.
Great.
Yeah.
So if you would like for me to add those things and then send it to the select board as quickly as possible so that maybe we can get some traction.
Yes, so the very last sentence is what we would want, in addition to approving the letter, the specific, because, you know, Joanne has done a great job of composing the letter, and the specific bit is the last sentence. We recommend that the Shutesbury Select Board consider writing a letter of support. You know, I can't see the map. Well, the letter to the Board of PVTA asking for PVTA on-demand services to become available to Shutesbury residents. So that is those, excuse me, there's two recommendations, the first one and the second one. I'm sorry, Joanne, I skipped the first one.
That's right.
So those are the specifics that we would be really voting on, are those recommendations. And we want to be sure everybody is good about those.
Okay. So we need to make a motion to support those two and vote on it.
To approve the letter, yes, by
Okay.
approving the letter, we're approving the recommendations, yes.
Okay.
And I just, you know, want to be sure we're all good with those.
Okay. So I make Faber makes a motion to approve the letter respectfully submitted by Joanne Bernard and Linda Avis Scott to the select board in regards to transportation requests, assessment of transportation needs and requests to the board.
Is there a second?
Stockton seconds.
Thank you both. Okay, any further discussion?
Thank you for doing it.
Oh,
Thank you, Joanne. So it sounds like we're ready to vote.
Finally. Okay, Bernhard, aye.
Barbara, I.
Ray, I.
Scott, aye.
Stockton, I.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joanne, ever so much for pulling this together and for being willing to send it off to the select board.
Off it goes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll carry that over to the next meeting to see what happens. Okay, so we just, Joanne and I put the public health nurse services on the agenda just to acknowledge the service that's now available to residents of Shutesbury. And Joanne had a recent visit to the senior lounge, and maybe she would just like to share about what she observed and followed up on.
Yes, and thank you, Martha, for tipping me off to the fact that there were 30 large boxes stored in the senior lounge. So I stopped in to see what was going on. The boxes are there. The public health nurse has a very small desk up against the wall by the entrance door from the larger room. It looked like a very small space to me for what the public health nurse is being asked to do. And it also seemed to me to be disruptive to have all the boxes there. I followed up with Catherine Hilton from the Board of Health, who was also not aware that the boxes were there. But she talked to the nurse and said that the nurse was not bothered by that. So I guess, and that the boxes were to be moved out at some point in the near future. But also, I asked the administrative secretary, Geneva, and she didn't know. Becky said she would let me know, but then she didn't. So I'm not sure. I think it might be a grant that our police chief has gotten for something, but we're not sure what this is. What the boxes contain baby car seats.
Babies for Shutesbury all at once.
Yeah.
No,
There are 30. 30. I don't know that there are 30 babies coming into Shutesbury this soon. It may be a thing with other towns. She may have done something with other towns, so this may be, you know, something that she's doing with Leverett or other towns in the area. I'm just not sure. We can ask Kirsten and see what her plans are.
Yes, okay, all right. So the next item is the peace of mind binder. And let's see.
So I just sent out, I sent out it, I don't know, maybe somebody can check their email at like 5:30. I sent out
Yes.
a copy and
Okay,
it came through to you.
It
Hang
came,
on.
I received it.
Great. It's 2 pages long. So
okay, it's actually, okay, in the email, okay. Okay, let's see if I can
sorry, I was
screen share that for you.
having computer issues. I hate laptops.
Let's see.
Well, Martha, thank you so much. This was great. I can see great possibilities here.
Okay,
So
so this is it.
Janet, thank you very much. I adopted some of the content that you had created initially at the time of COVID. So this was just sort of, it was a little more, it wasn't just for a medical emergency related to COVID. I sort of looked at the do-it-yourself program. So basically, you know, emergencies can happen and people aren't really well prepared. So my note is create some kind of a binder, a folder, a book, whatever. Oh, I need commas there. Creating a book or a folder that would encourage people to organize the important papers that they have scattered maybe in various locations and put them all together. And then hopefully have a discussion with family members in terms of this is where all these papers are and this is where we'll keep them so that they can be easily accessed in the event that they're needed. And hopefully, you know, people would have a time to discuss it with the parents or the elders and get answers to questions while someone is still available to answer such questions. So what should they include? I started off with a list of relatives, close friends, their contact information, address, phone numbers, emails, and then financial bank accounts, the name of the bank, location, account numbers, and people might consider adding another family member, like a son or a daughter, to the account so that they can access it and continue to pay bills if you know there was a death of the person in charge. Life insurance policies, companies' account numbers, lists of investments, again, accounts, passwords, if these things have you know, if they're online accounts, most investments now require passwords. And also just things that are automatically withdrawn. If somebody dies, these automatic withdrawals are going to continue. So people need to know that these things are drawn monthly. You know, house insurance, home, phone, Netflix, and so that they can cancel those. And again, passwords are useful. Health insurance information, copies of insurance cards. I just put that in. That was from before. Names of physicians and the specialists. I mean, who is a cardiologist? Who's the gastro? Just so that, you know, family members know who they need to be advocating to for the various issues, and lists of meds, and then healthcare proxy. So, you know, so this is a simple legal document. It's valid in Massachusetts, and this only goes into, this is only implemented if a person is unable to make decisions for themselves or communicate those decisions. So, and they need to pick an agent. And I was thinking, well, it would be very helpful to include these websites where you can download these forms.
Mhm.
So that's what I did. And there are 2 sites there, and one of them is from Mass Med, and that's a lot of information. And then the second one is Honoring Choices. It's a organization that offers healthcare proxy documentation, and that is for Massachusetts alone. I do believe I have to go through and make sure these links work. And then the next one's healthcare directives, advanced directives, living wills. And again, this is not legally binding in Massachusetts, but it helps to inform the healthcare agent that these are the things that you do and you don't want, in terms of, do you want to be intubated? Do you want CPR? Do you want to be a DNR, at the end of life? And again, there's a link for that. And then something in Massachusetts, it's a medical order for life-sustaining treatment. It's a MOLST form, and it's, if you can just push the page up, that would be dandy. Thank you so much. So this is a medical order. This needs to be signed by the physician and by the patient. And what this does is this clearly delineates, do you want fluids? Do you want to be intubated? And sort of the degree of care that you want. And this is activated as soon as it's signed and it's implemented. So it's not like a healthcare directive, which is only used if someone becomes incapacitated and can't make choices for themselves. And it's recommended, if you go onto this form, they recommend that you print it in hot pink so that it's easily accessible. And for some of the people in town who have had repeated visits by, calling 911 for transport to the hospital, it's very helpful if first responders can get a look at this, because that may determine what is done and what isn't. And then power of attorney. All right, I did find that one. That was a search to try and find one of those. So power of attorney is a document that, again, you grant somebody the ability to be your agent. And so I need the link for that. I had one. And then other information, putting down, legal information, who's the lawyer, where's their address, where's their phone number, and a copy of last will and testament, a copy of it. And then end of life wishes. I mean, I know a lot of people that have that have planned their own funerals. They've paid for them, they've put aside money for celebration. So people can, in one of these booklets or however they want to do it, all my stuff sits in a manila envelope. You can put that information in there too. So it's really, really helpful to have this information when something happens to an elder, and it's all laid out for you. So that's the gist of it.
Martha,
you,
that's a
Martha.
great job. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking ahead to the Gazette, to when we do the next one, that this would be a great thing to put, take as much space as we need for it, not to shorten it or cram it in, and to order it in such a way that each thing has its own space. And Janice is shaking her head. So
Well, that's only for the whole idea is that the Gazette, most of them anyway, are printed. And so you're not going to have a hot link to click on a piece of paper. Take you to these places. Now you can spell it all out and hope that someone takes that initiative, and they might. But that's just something to think about. I'm trying to
also,
go ahead. Sorry.
also when I was at at my doctor's office for something or other, she handed me one printed on hot pink.
I have
So
one
you
on my
can-
refrigerator
you
right
can-
now. Because that's where the
You
first
can get it.
responders are gonna look. Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But that's the most. I'm thinking of the other things
the
you're
most.
talking about, and I'm trying to think if there's some way. And I'm trying to scroll through. I got too many different things on my computer right now, trying to find it.
Mhm.
Like, okay, here we go. Like the Massachusetts Durable Power Financial Power of Attorney PDF. It's possible it could say go to the website, blah, 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 wherever this is, and look for that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But just a warning about print versus online.
right, right, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Um,
Jeanette?
Stockton here, just thinking that we're trying to direct people to the website and to utilize the website. This might be, a nice thing to have so that they can ding the link and print it out, because this stuff, Martha helped me with my dad's most. It went on for pages. It's not like it's going to be something that we can, most of these forms are multiple pages that need to be filled out. So it's not like we could really include that in the Gazette anyway. I think it could be
Right.
to the website as the,
Right, how to drive it to the website, I think is what you're saying, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's a
And-
great
Mhm.
idea, Jeanette. I mean, it could, in the Gazette, I mean, this could be, I don't know, we could choose to keep the links in, and then at the bottom of the page, or maybe at the top of the page, just state that all of this information can be found on the COA website, the links.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sorry
Okay.
about that. Yes, I have a question about the most.
Yep.
Martha. And so I think there's I mean, are there recommendations about when a person would would seek, would see their physician about a MOLST?
When we, our physician at Northampton Family Practice gave us all this stuff, as a packet, fill this out. And the MOLST needs to be updated as people's conditions change if they so desire, but
Right. Yes, I guess that's what I was kind of going with, is that, as you said before, what the purpose of the healthcare proxy is, and that the directives provide guidance to your proxy, but the MOLST, as you said, is a medical order. So it seems that to me to have some statement in here about the fact that, a MOLST would need to be updated as, as a person's needs change. Do you know what I'm saying?
yes.
Because what, things, people's situations change, and what maybe have been appropriate at one point is no longer appropriate, or, different choices, given certain changes.
Right. I can add that.
Can I make a suggestion that we individually spend some time looking at these things, and that we deal with other suggestions at another meeting? We're coming up on 10 minutes to 7, and we have a couple other items, and I think the peace of mind binder is really, really important, and
Yes.
we probably need to ponder a little bit more. I think Martha has gotten the salient points down, and
Absolutely.
I don't think we need to get into the fine details right now.
Yeah, I would like to just really appreciate you, Martha, for what you've done, because it's really awesome, very clear, and really great, really great.
Well, I thank
Yeah,
you, Janice,
thank you.
because I think you had compiled a lot of this and
Well,
just-
no, that
It
was Joanne.
It was Joanne,
oh,
yeah.
Joanne, okay, thank you, Joanne. Someone, so I just sort of added a little more, just in terms of just thinking about trying to move some people in the family to do similar things.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Well, thank you. So we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting to
Sounds good.
really go over it again, and we can
Great.
all look at it, like Joanne said, in the meantime, take a look at some of the links and see what we learn. Okay, and if you
And,
haven't, I thought Susan had joined us, but she's not here. Oh, there she is.
There she is.
He was there for a blink. Okay, so the next item is there she is.
Suzanne,
Hi, Susan. The next item are the website suggestions.
This can wait also, I think. What
Okay,
this is Janice speaking. I can explain the background of this. I sent out an email, to try to give you a sense of it. When the public health nurse information came out for the Board of Health, I just took it and threw it on the website, and it's long. And there's a zillion bullet points. And I was thinking, I could cut it off and say something like, for these are just some of the things that this nurse can do. For more information, go to, and then link it to a page, a PDF somewhere, when you click on something, learn more. And what
Gail,
I've seen on a Gail Fleischiger was trying to suggest was to make it the whole page shorter by, instead of having these long things or even links to other pages, to have these things called tabs, which I'd never heard of, at the top of the page, where you'd click on it and it would take you to this thing. And I can see the point, but, and again, this can wait. But my concern is that, oh, thank you. Yeah, she's talking about where down under the Board of Health, above the Board of Health, there are these little things you can click on that will take you to more information about each of these topics. And I thought to bring it to you guys because I can see the advantage of that, but I can also see some people, and this is back to the technology again, I don't want to have to click on something. I'm not going to bother to click on something. I want to see everything right there in front of me right now. And I don't know the answer to that. It's just a theoretical question on my part, but it can wait also.
okay, so this will mean a perusal, an in-depth perusal of the COA website.
well,
No,
no. Go ahead, Janice.
it's just that the COA website right now has a lot of stuff on it. I've tried to update it as things go along, such as the Board of Health, public health nurse thing saying, can you get the word out? All of you committees out there. That was my attempt to do that, but it ends up with a very long page that you have to scroll and scroll and scroll down to see. This would certainly make it shorter, but I don't know how many people would actually go to these little tabs, the drinking water wells, PFAS rules. I mean, for us, it could be Life Path. We already have links to the Life Path website, but this kind of makes it all tidy. I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
No.
Um,
Jeanette?
Stockton, I know that on the Village Neighbors website and even the emails that I sent out monthly, you know, I'll just kind of, you almost do like a little teaser. And then you just, it happens in books when you want to like, look what the book's about and you start to read about it. And then it says see more. And you just press that button and then you've got the 4 pages of text that could be more daunting to many people compared to just pressing a tab that's clearly a continuation of the topic and more information. So and anyone who is utilizing a website, I think these days, probably knows to press the tab, especially since it usually says for more info. As it seems better to me to have a tab to press and then be presented with lots and lots and lots of information rather than, but that's just me.
I
Thank
think in the example that is here, Jen is speaking again. I'd have to go and look at it myself, but the Board of Health example, I think you'd have to say in the article, like, for example, on our webpage, you'd say, new public health nurse comes to Shutesbury. For more information, please click on something, because right now it doesn't tell you to click on it. It just says drinking water wells.
Right.
So you'd have to have a reference, which is doable, but
This is Linda. It is doable. As Jeanette said, most people who use websites now are used to using a tab, you know, or a menu bar, something to, you know, get more information or to go to a specific aspect of that site,
okay.
Of that page, excuse me. So I think it's a great idea because it would allow us to have more information on our page, to have the most important things on the page, and then have the, you know, tabs for more extended information or, you know, different topics. You know, like the, you know, peace of mind binder, you know, whatever it is. I think it would be great to trial it. If Gail is, you know, willing, we could ask her to give us a trial, and see what we think. Just a thought. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now, okay?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
I just didn't want to go ahead and do it without asking you guys. So
what do folks think? Go for a trial and see?
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, I think we'll, you know, give the foot clinic update. I can just tell you, I'll just give a brief, let me think, let me get back to where I'm supposed to be here. Let's see, I'm just gonna say that basically the price for in-person clinics is $110 per hour. And what that means is that the typical invoice is for, you know, typically for the in-person clinic, individual, the invoice from Foot Care by Nurses is $30 per person, plus an additional $50 per hour for the nurse. So in other words, they would see 2 people per hour, so that's $60 plus the $50 per hour for the nurse. And that way, if there are any cancellations or no-shows, the nurse is still, the Foot Care by Nurses is still getting paid for the nurse's time. So that is just the scoop on that, for future reference.
You're muted, Susan.
Susan, you have two
You-
windows open. One of them looks muted.
She has trouble with her
You're not
computer
hearing
and
you.
her computer doesn't have any sound for, so she'll have to use her phone to talk to us.
Hmm.
But we can't hear her.
Damn technology.
So just to clarify, this is Stockton here, this would be for in the future, if the foot clinic becomes back in person in the senior center,
Yes,
this would be potential costs
yes.
as opposed to they're going to people's houses right now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, so, basically, it would, right now, we're budgeting $192 per month for the in-person. And if we were to go, I mean, for at home, excuse me, and if we were to go in person, then in addition, some folk, people contribute donations toward the cost. Some people contribute the whole amount, others, lesser, but we would be responsible for the nurse's time, which is generally 3 hours, so that'd be $150. Plus whatever, whatever we would be contributing in addition, towards the cost of the actual client's care. So could be more than we're currently paying, depends. For a lot of things. But it would be at least $150. So that's the scoop on that.
Okay.
Susan, I'm thinking there's no bingo update.
Correct.
Okay, yes, there you are.
Audio.
Okay, so
Bingo.
bingo, exactly, bingo. We completed our agenda and it's 7 p.m.
So if we don't have, I have another item, a sort of new item, but if we don't have time to bring it up, I'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Okay, is
That's a
it,
teaser.
what kind of the item is it, Miss?
It has with, Grace and I had a conversation about what we did at the last meeting when we got cut off. I don't know if she's talked to anybody else about it. She told me to bring it to the group. Okay, we need to change what we did was improper by open meeting law. We needed to have a special meeting to finish up that meeting and to properly adjourn. That meeting was never adjourned.
Well, right, but that wasn't our fault.
No, but I know that. But what we should do in a situation like that,
Okay.
Grace, is to call to finish up that meeting.
Okay, all right, got it. Thank you for that clarification. So
Well-
if it happens again, everybody, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Transacting any business until we actually meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Susan, for that, for following up on that. And so just in addition to the items that we already talked about carrying over, so we'll have the minutes from the July 12th meeting, we'll have tonight's minutes, our usual financial update, mobile home tech program update, transportation update, peace of mind binder continued. Everybody is going to look at what Martha put forward and check things out. Maybe we'll have a bingo update. And the other piece of it that we'll have is that Police Chief Kristen Burgess sent an email saying that she has a program idea. We don't know what it is. And she'd like to give us a Sand for Seniors update and kind of thoughts about next winter season. So she's been invited to come to our next meeting, and we asked her if she has any information about what is her new idea to send it out in advance, so we'd know, and also that we meet from 5:30 to 7. So if she has a particular time that works for her in her schedule, to let us know. So there you go.
Okay.
Jeanette?
I was just wondering about the decade celebration. Is there anything that needs to be done with that at this point by us, or is out of our hands? And any questions I have, I should bring to Susie Mosher. I'm just wondering if she that wants to go in the village neighbors constant
Right.
con.
Yeah,
couple days.
that's a good question for Susie. The only piece that we would be acting on is any expenses. We already allocated $100. So it would be just seeing if any invoices come forward.
All righty.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Boy, that's coming up. I mean, that's not that far away now.
Yeah.
I think it's September 10th.
Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:04.
Somebody second, but I don't know who.
I,
Oh,
Susan-
Okay,
Jeanette made the motion, I believe.
Martha made the motion, sorry,
Oh,
Martha.
right. We're speaking at the same time. Apologies.
okay, all right, so roll call vote.
Bernhard, I.
Barbara, I.
Ray, I.
Millinger, I.
Not I.
Stockton, I.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for everything. And thank you, Jeanette, for pinch hitting on the minutes, even while you're on vacation and we can all see your sunny self. And Janice, everybody, thank you. Martha and Susan, we're glad you could join us at the end, and Joanne. So thanks, everybody, and we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye.